All right, so our today's activity or lab is an introduction to mathematical modeling. So, like I've been mentioning, it's really important that you're able to model a given situation with an equation or some mathematical model. So, we're going to do a little activity today where you try to ask a question or answer a question that I have posed to you. And the question I would like for you to try and answer is, when is using Uber or Lyft less expensive than owning a car? Now, this is a tough question to answer, but we're going to simplify it by making some assumptions. So, um, it's it's okay to assume some things like the car you have that you're going to use, the mileage of that car, the cost of gas, right? That goes up and down, but you can simplify it by just doing some approximations. This is what makes it kind of an ill posed question is there's some assumptions you're going to have to make. But in general, here are some modeling principles you're gonna want to follow. We're gonna create a model that starts with a simplified version of a situation. It's not all, usually the first model isn't the final model, but it's just what we start out with. When you're creating a model, you want to pay attention to what you want. If you need a number, you make up a value, but make sure that you note that you made up a value because it could become a variable later. For example, if you're going to say gas is $3.67 a gallon, you made that up, right? That's not always true. So you're going to want to put in your notes, oh, we're going to assume gas is $3.67 a gallon, right? So make sure you are aware of those assumptions you make. And then, ask each other, well, what if we change that? What if gas were cheaper? What if Uber's rates are up? Whatever it may be. You want to ask, what question are you trying to answer? And how can you measure that? Ultimately, we're trying to figure out if taking Uber or Lyft would be when it would be wiser or more, it would be cheaper to take an Uber or Lyft versus a car. And then lastly, everyone should have Uber or Lyft downloaded in your mobile device. And please decide whether you're going to use Uber or Lyft to compare with a regular car. So I want to start you off. You're going to go ahead and discuss. So I'm going to give you about 1 minute. Go ahead and discuss the question we're talking about. When is it using Uber or Lyft less expensive than owning a car? So take 1 minute. What assumptions do you need to make to solve this question? What do you need to measure or estimate? What is the variable or variables in this problem? And then write down all of your notes in your discussion here. Go ahead and take 1 minute to do that. All right, so basically, I'm going to let you work on the rest of this pack or worksheet, this lab with your group for the rest of class. You're going to decide a car that you will use and a typical day for the driver. So maybe choose a car that maybe your family already owns or you're familiar with. I don't know. I mean, you may want to choose something cool like a Jaguar or a Bugatti, but maybe choose something that is actually more like the car that you have or that you'll most likely be using when you get a car. And then what information do you need to gather, right? Like how much mileage that car has, how much gas costs, etc. Like lease. Do you have a monthly lease that you have to pay on the car? Make sure you have all that information. And then you're going to create a 5 minute presentation to answer this question. And you will be presenting this to another group. So I'm going to pair you up with a different group and you will present to each other at the end of class. So you have the rest of the time to work on this question. Create your 5 minute presentation. You can create a poster to show. I have poster paper and markers I'm going to give you. You can make a PowerPoint. I don't really care how you do it, but be prepared to have all the information you need to support your argument. So if you're going to say Uber is cheaper, you have to show the evidence that supports that. If you're going to say owning a car is cheaper, you got to have the evidence to show that. And then you'll be presenting to another group at the end of class. So let me know if you have any questions, but try to answer this question. And you're welcome to grab a MacBook to do your research.